class. Just so I can show you guys that you can name it anything you want, I'm going to go ahead and name this baby Green Goblins. That sounds like a name from what's that show? Legends of the Hidden Temple. But was Green Goblins even a thing? Let me see, Silver Snake, Purple Penguins or something, and Green Goblins. Might as well. Anyways, like I was saying, so now we have a class Red Text and another class Green Goblins. And let's go ahead and make the rule for Green Goblins. Anytime anything belongs to the class Green Goblins, their text is going to be, of course, green. Hence the name Green Goblins. So simple enough. So now you're saying, alright, let's go ahead and save this to see what happens. If we just refresh it, check it out. Our paragraphs are plain old because we didn't apply the class to those paragraphs yet. So in order to do that, here's what you need to do. For this paragraph, since we want this one to belong to the class Red Text, we need to add an attribute called class, and we need to set it equal to the name of that class. But don't include the period whenever you write it as your XHTML attribute. Just go ahead and drop the period and write the name of your class, which is Red Text. So go ahead and copy that and paste it in here. So now let's go ahead and save it, refresh, and see what we got. Now this paragraph is the only paragraph that belongs to the class Red Text. So this is the only paragraph that's going to turn red. So now you can see that we have some more customization. So now if we want this paragraph to belong to the class Red Text and this paragraph to belong to the class Green Goblins, go ahead and save this and refresh. We can see that this text is now green. So before this tutorial, we really had no way of segregating the two paragraphs. And you can make them any color you want. I chose red and green. Don't choose black and white because that's just racist. And anyways, like I was saying, we can now segregate the classes and add more customization to the same element. Whereas before, when we had one element, we had one rule where it affected all the elements on the page, all the paragraphs on page, all the headers on page. They got the same rule. Well, now we can split them up, and for this example it wasn't really useful because I mean we could have just used span or anything. We could have even used div, but this is the most useful way. Anyways, what am I trying to say here? Later on, once we start developing websites that have like 100 of elements per page, this is going to be a huge help for you guys, and you guys will see later on just how helpful this is. So this is probably a tutorial that you want to put in your favorites because you do not want to forget about this one. So thank you guys for watching. That's all I have for you guys for this tutorial. So I guess I'll see you in tutorial number 31. What's up, people? Welcome to your 31st XHTML and CSS tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be clearing up a lot of confusion that you probably have surrounding the div thing that I talked about a couple tutorials ago. So a little refresher. A couple tutorials ago I told you guys that in order to position elements exactly where you want on your web page, then you use something called div, and they're pretty much like boxes that you can move around the screen, and they let you make the layout a lot prettier than you could with just tables or just using plain XHTML. But you guys are probably thinking this, alright Bucky, if I have a bunch of different boxes and they're all just called div, then how does the browser know what div I want to go where? Well, the answer is through the use of something called IDs. Now, ID is a lot like it's kind of a lot like a style, but it's different as well. You use IDs a lot with divs in order to position boxes at different locations. For example, if you had one div that you wanted to go in the top left and you had one div that you wanted to go in the bottom right, you would give them different IDs, and then you can tell your browser, I want this one to go in the top left and I want this one to go in the bottom right. So let's go ahead and make two divs first of all. So div and ending div, and let's go ahead and make another one right under it. And in the first div, let's just go ahead and write Bobby is the best. And under that one, write Hobart is the coolest. It doesn't matter what you write. Just go ahead and make them different. Separate but equal. What's that from? Quote it and you get a penny. So anyways, in order to change these divs and make sure that the browser knows that they're different, we need to create something called an ID for each one. So let's go ahead and create an ID. And in order to create an ID, instead of the period like we did before that we used with styles, or excuse me, classes, we need to write the pound sign. So pound sign whenever you create an ID. And now type the name of whatever ID you want, whatever name pops in your head. I'm going to type mine Bobby because I'm going to apply mine to this div that is called, that has a sentence and it has Bobby in it. So anyways, name it anything you want except a cuss word because that's rude. And now apply some styles to it, like let's make it easy to see, so let's give it a border. So border equals 2 pix solid red. And now I'm going to throw you guys for a loop and add that position thing that we don't know what it means yet, but I'm going to clear it up in a few tutorials. Absolute, definitely spelled down right. Absolute, that's a little better. And let's go ahead and take this div and move it down 15 pixels. So top, move it 15 pixels from the top, and move it let's say 25 pixels from the left. So now what we have is an ID Bobby. Now any div that we give this ID to is going to be this position and have this border. So let's go ahead and make another ID right now, and we can do that by just copying this and pasting it and changing the ID name, and change this ID to Hobart and change the border to green. Green sounds like a Hobart color, and move it let's say 65 off the top and 5 from the left. So check it out. We have two divs right here and right here, and we have two IDs that are different. This one has a red border and it's in the top left, and this one has a green border and it's kind of below it, shifted to the left. So now we want to say, alright, for this div right here, we want to give the ID Bobby. So in order to do that, go ahead and write ID equals Bobby. Make sure you don't include the pound sign whenever you're writing it. Make sure I didn't write booby there. Make sure you don't write the pound sign whenever you're writing it is your XHTML attribute. The only time that you use that pound sign is when you're making it a CSS. So whenever you're using it in between the style tags, include the pound sign. This is just your way of telling CSS, yes, this is an ID. So anyways, we now applied this ID to this div right here. So whenever we refresh it, we get Bobby is the best right here, and check it out. It now has a border of 2 pixels solid red. It's now moved down from the top 15 pixels, and it's now moved to the right 25 pixels. So that's what happens when we apply an ID to a div. You pretty much allows you to position it anywhere you want on the screen. So now if you go ahead and take this ID and apply it to this div, what's going to happen is it's going to take this text, Hobart is the coolest, and it's going to say, alright, I have the idea of Hobart, so I'm going to give it a green border, move it down 65 and left 5 pixels. So when we refresh it, that's what we get. So anyways, that's what I'm basically telling you how to do. You have two divs that are basically identical and your browser can't tell them apart. Well, in order to give them identities, you need to first of all write what you want your ID to equal, pretty much give them a unique identity or a fingerprint, and then you write what you want that identity to mean. Whenever something has the identity of Bobby, I want to give it a red border and put it in this location. Whenever anything has the identity of Hobart, I want to give it a green border and put it in this location. So that way we can use divs to position different elements around the screen. So before we had one div and we can only do one thing with it, but now we can have a countless number of divs, infinite divs, and we can position them all around the screen however we'd like. So now you can start to see how divs are so useful in making a custom layout. So now what we can do is we can make one div, for our banner in the top right, and one div for our logo in the top left, and one div for our navigation bar at the bottom or our left, wherever we want it. So that is how you use IDs to distinguish divs from one another. So if this tutorial was confusing, then just watch it again and I promise you guys will get it. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Why hello there, bloody good day. My name is Bucket, and welcome to your 30-second XHTML and CSS tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed my British accent. I know I did. But anyways, in this tutorial, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to style a child selector. Now, let me give you guys a quick overview of what I mean by child. First of all, I'm not talking about a child selector like you decided that you and your wife want to adopt a baby, so now you have to select a child. That's not what I'm talking about. Not in this tutorial, at least. Maybe I'll do that in the next tutorial. Hold on, let me adjust my microphone. There, that's better. So anyways, a child in terms of XHTML is a tag that's inside another tag. So for example, you see how whenever we make tags like body, they have to be within the HTML tags, or whenever we have the style tags, they have to be within the head tags. We can't have head style. They have to be inside one another. So the relationship I'm talking about is this. See this head? The head is a child of HTML. So HTML would be the parent, and since head is inside, it would be the child. Body is also a child of HTML, since body is inside HTML. Style is a child of head, since style is inside head. So you can say style is the child, head is the parent. There. Now you guys should understand what I mean by a child and a parent. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you guys how to style a child selector. For example, if you come across this problem, I want to style links, but I only want to style the ones inside paragraphs. Well, we can't just go ahead and make a style for links because that's going to apply to all of them. In order to say, alright, we want to apply it only to the ones that are in paragraphs, we need to do something special. So let's go ahead and first and foremost make 3 different links right here. Just go ahead and put like a href equals http thenewboston.com, and now let's go ahead and just write like first or something like that. So first of all, we're just gonna have a regular link on the screen. Let's refresh this, make sure it works, and when we click it, it takes us to the greatest website ever, thenewboston.com. So anyways, let's go ahead and make 2 more. So first and foremost, we have a regular link on the screen, nothing special. So now let's go ahead and make a paragraph, pp. Oh man, I cracked myself up. And now let's go ahead and put this link inside pp, and we'll write second. I am so immature, it is ridiculous. These are the most unprofessional tutorials you have ever seen in your life, probably, but hey, they're pretty good. So, and last, let's go ahead and put another one in a header. So now you're saying, alright, I have these 3 links, and I want, oh yeah, gotta probably do this, third. So first, second, and third. So here's what they look like. The first one is just regular plain old text, the second one is inside a paragraph, and the third one is inside the header. So right now they all look the same, and you're saying, alright, I want to style only the links that are inside paragraph tags. So I want to style basically only these. So in order to do that, like I said, we can't just go ahead and style all the links, or else it's going to style all of them. What we need to do is say this. Alright, first of all, inside the paragraph tags, I want to style all the links. Now, let me, kind of put this in other terms. You're saying, alright, A is pretty much, alright, all children A with a parent of P, or basically all link tags inside paragraphs, I'm going to go ahead and style those. And you use this with the greater than sign. So greater than sign pretty much means relationship. Whenever A, aka link, has a parent of P, aka paragraph, I want to style you. So now let's go ahead and apply some styles. Let's go ahead and put color red, and maybe put like font size 30 pixels. Not that. What's a lowercase o? Embarrassing. So let me go ahead and add this last semicolon, refresh, and see what we got. Check it out. Now, CSS went through, looked for all the links that were inside the paragraph. Is this link inside a paragraph? Nope. Is this link inside a paragraph? Yep. So I'm going to style this one. Is this link inside a paragraph? No, it's inside a header, so don't touch that one either. And it went ahead and applied the style to those links. So that is not only how you talk in terms of relationships, child, parents, but also how you can style pretty much not only a link, but basically anything you want, depending on what their parent is. And another quick bit of information I want to teach you guys. You guys are probably saying, all right, if head is the child of HTML, then does that mean style is the grandchild of HTML? Yes, it does. In technical terms, that's how it works. So HTML is the grandparent of style. So it goes grandchild, child, parent, or grandparent, grandchild, depending on what you're referencing. That has nothing to do with this tutorial, but, I got a couple extra minutes. Might as well give you a nice little tidbit of information. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out my website, and I'll see you next video. What's going on, guys? Welcome to your 33rd XHTML and CSS tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about something called pseudo elements. But the name pseudo element, I don't know why they give it that name, because it's not really even a fake element at all. It's basically just a piece of another element. So, for example, a pseudo element, for example, might be if you have a paragraph, it might just be the first line of the paragraph. Or if you have a header, it might just be the first letter of that title or whatever section of text you have. So you see, it's not really like a fake element. It's just like the beginning of another element. So I know you guys, it's really hard to explain it, so I'm just going to show you guys what it is. So let's go ahead and make 3 paragraphs, because I'm going to be styling the first letter of each paragraph, so, might as well have more than one. So, let me just go ahead and make 3 outlines for paragraphs right now. PP, it's disgusting. And paste and paste. So let's just go ahead and, alright, what's popping in my head? Paul, did you hear Miley Cyrus played beer pong with the Russians? Yeah, I never took typing class as a kid, so yeah. And then just write something in the next one like OMG WF barbecue. And in the last one, just write like, oh, Billy. Oh, Billy. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and save that and take a look at what we got it so far. 3 paragraphs. Basically, pretty dumb. So anyways, what I want to teach you guys is about these pseudo elements and how to apply styles to them. First of all, a pseudo element would be the first letter of each of these paragraphs, and you don't get to pick these pseudo elements. They're actually built in, and the ones that are built in I know by heart are first letter, first line. For example, if you had a paragraph with like 5 lines, it would only apply the style to that first line. And there's also one called what the heck am I saying? There's also one called before and after, and I actually never use these, so I'm not even entirely sure what they are, but I know that they exist because I read about them before. So anyways, what I'm going to be doing is applying a style to the first letter of each paragraph, and in order to use these pseudo elements, you do this. Go ahead and type the main element that you want to apply, and then go ahead and add a colon and type the name of the pseudo element. Now in this case, it's first minus a letter. And again, you don't get to make these up. These are actually built in. So again, there's first letter and first line, before and after. So now, whenever I apply a style, it's going to apply it to the first letter of every paragraph. So let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and make a style. So font, weight, bold. Good, and but like font size 30 pixels. I always choose 30 pixels. I'm not sure why. And just make it color green. That looks pretty good. And probably need that semicolon instead of a colon. Now refresh it, and let's see what we got. Now we have a style applied to the first letter of the first paragraph. P, O, and O, and it spells poo, so that's pretty nice. So anyways, that's what pseudo elements are, and that's how you can use CSS to apply styles to them. Now, again, in this example, it wasn't really useful, but you know, you get the idea. If you ever want to apply a style to make the first letter or first line stand out, this is how you would do that. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next video. What's going on, guys? Welcome to your 34th XHTML and CSS tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking to you guys about something called an external style sheet, and this is definitely the most helpful lesson that I taught you guys so far. So far, if you only watch one tutorial, make sure it's this one, because it's going to make your life as a web designer so much easier. So anyways, wouldn't it be cool if we could have one set of styles, one set of rules that we can apply to our entire website, no matter how many pages we have on it? So for example, before, on this web page we would need to list all our styles. Turn paragraphs red, turn headers green, turn links orange, and then we go to this web page over here. Turn paragraphs red, turn headers green, turn links orange. And if we had like 500 different web pages, then that would just be a pain in the rear end. So anyways, wouldn't it be easy if we could just say, alright, we have this one main outline of styles that we want to apply to our entire website, every single web page. So we just go ahead and type use that style, use that style. It's a lot easier than trying to manage all those styles. And then say you have 500 pages and then you decide, you know what, instead of red paragraphs, I want blue paragraphs. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to edit 5,000 pages. Instead, you only have to go to one location, change it, and it edits the entire website for you. So anyways, let me go ahead and make a simple website. In our body, let's go ahead and add a header h1 and just write like this is the index page. Biatch. No, don't write that. And anyways, go ahead and like add a paragraph. My name is Perry the Parrot. I am a paragraph. I don't see any typos. And last but not least, just go ahead and add a link. href. Just go ahead and link this to your second page. And click me. I dare you to. Biatch. Nah, you don't want to say that. So anyways, go ahead and take a look at our index. And actually, you might as well do this. Just go ahead and copy this, and on your other website, or excuse me, your other web page, I always get those terms mixed up. And actually, a web page is the individual page. Your website is your collection of web pages. So, you know, I get it mixed up, but now you guys know. So let's just go ahead and write, this is the, let's just write second page, and this link can go to index.html. And actually, this one can go to second.html. So now what we have is a simple website with two web pages on it. This is the main page, and you click this, and it takes you to the second page. You click it again, it takes you to the first page. Second, back to the first. Second, back to the first. A second, and back to the first. Yeah, I'll stop doing that right now. So anyways, like I was saying, and if we wanted to apply styles to each of these web pages, we can go ahead, and we already know how to apply styles using CSS, so we can go ahead, throw those style tags in there, and go make a rule for the heading, the paragraph, and the link. Then we can go over here, make a rule for the heading, the paragraph, and the link. But if we wanted to edit it, then we would need to go back, edit here, need to go back, edit here, here, then here. I'm getting a headache already just thinking about it. So let me show you guys a super easy way that's gonna, you know, it's gonna fix your life forever. So don't even touch these files right now. Go ahead and click File, New, or you can just go ahead and click this button right here to get a new, and it's gonna make you a new file. Now, here is where we're gonna put all of our styles, but you don't need that style tag like that. The only thing you need to do is paste in all of the rules that you want. So for example, for our header 1, let's just go ahead and make this green or something. Just make something noticeable that will stand out. Now for our paragraphs, let me just think of a couple things real quick. Font, family, Tahoma, I think that's how you spell it. I'm not sure. We'll see if it works. Color, red, and font size 20 pixels. That's a nice round number. It's also my favorite number. Did you guys know that? 20. Nice little tidbit of information. Alright, now let's go ahead and make all the links orange or something stupid. Color orange. So now we have all these rules right here, but how do we tell our web pages that these are the rules that we want to use? Well, the first thing we need to do before we even think about doing that is go up to here, File, Save As, and we need to save this as a special file. You can name it anything you want, so I'm just going to name mine Donkey because why the heck not? And you need to save it as a CSS file, and in order to do that, go to the drop down menu and select CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheet File, or you can just type .css, but you know, who wants to type when you can just click buttons? So go ahead and save this. And now we have this special CSS file that has only rules in it. It has 3 rules about a heading, a paragraph, and a link. So now we need to go into our web pages and tell it that we want to use this file instead of, you know, styles. So in order to do that, and make sure that you don't put this in style tags. We don't need style tags any longer. What we do need is a special link tag. And it's a single tag, so you know there's no opening and closing. And you need 3 attributes for this. The first is, this is either like relationship or relative or something. Anyways, you put style sheet, and that never changes, so you know you don't even have to worry about what it means. The next is what type of file you want to link to, and that is actually called text/CSS. This never changes also. So again, we have 2 things that never change. The last thing is href, and the reference is what is the name of that document. And in case you forgot, it's donkey.css. So donkey.css, and make sure it's stored in the same folder as your index and your second web page are. So now if we go ahead and save this, and actually I could type this all again, but I'm way too lazy, so go ahead and paste this in the header right here. And now instead of all those styles, what it's going to do is say, alright, so you want to use a list of styles, huh? Alright, where are those styles? In Donkey CSS. So every time this web page gets loaded, it's going to load all the rules in Donkey CSS and apply them to these right here. And every time index gets loaded, it's going to look at Donkey CSS and it's going to apply them to these right here. So let's go ahead, refresh this, and see what we got. Now in our index, our headers are green, our paragraphs are Tahoma red 20 pixels, and our links are orange. Pretty cool, huh? And we did this all using an external style sheet. So let's go ahead, second index, check it out. So now let's say we made a website and it now has like 5,000 different web pages on it, and your boss comes in and he's like, yeah, you know all those headers, instead of green, I actually want those blue. And he's thinking that he's kicking you in the butt, making you hate your life, because now you have to change 1,000 different web pages. But you know, since you use external style sheets, all you have to do is go in this one document and change that word green to blue. Now save this and check it out. Refresh, refresh. Now all your web pages have blue headers. So how much easier is that to manage than just a list of styles? Pretty cool, huh? So that is the beauty of an external style sheet, how to use it, and why it's so useful. So anyways, that's all I got to say. I was like gonna be rambling on about something else, but that's basically all I got to teach you. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Super important one. So anyways, I'll see you in the next video, and if you get bored, don't forget to check out my website. So I'll see you guys later. Alright guys, it's Bucky and welcome back to your 35th CSS tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to talk to you guys about overriding styles. So for example, let's go ahead and take a look at this website that we built before. Every style on every single page is the same. But what if you come across a situation where you have all your web pages the same, but there's one web page that you might want to do a little something different. Maybe you want all the paragraphs bigger, or maybe you want all the headers to be a different color. Well, you don't have to you know, throw fit, because there's a simple way that you can override the styles on an external style sheet using the old style tags that we learned before. And this is where the term cascading comes into effect when we're talking about cascading style sheets, or yeah, that's what they're called. So anyways, in order to override a style, let's go ahead and take a look at our main